Was there a lot of incest in your family?
In my mother's family, there was a therapist told me that my mother's behavior, the borderline personality and the way she behaved, that there had to have been, and I've heard stories of that. I mean, I think that men just kind of viewed women as something they're objects. You know, they could cheat on them, they could, you know, have uncles and cousins. I've heard stories. And of course nobody believes the woman, you know, or just brush it under the rug, right? So that was that too. My mom had an eating, not to give away the book, but she was the when she was 13 years old. I'm talking about Morocco. She had anorexia, and she was hospitalized, and they had never heard of it. No one had ever, you know, back in 1954, no one had ever heard of anybody having anorexia. So what they did is they starved her because they said she had a fever. So she goes in the hospital and they starve her. And so there's no young woman in that culture that has that degree of dysfunction where there's not just a lot going on.
For all of my psychiatrists that are listening to Tea Time and that will watch the replay, I want to ask a question. I'd love to get the feedback from you guys. If eating disorders are related to incest abuse, because I have suffered from an eating disorder as well, and I had severe incest from an uncle. Uh, so I'm curious if that your mom's eating disorder had anything to do with the incest.